Glorious hump day to you, my friends. Guys, I want to welcome you to the Distinctly Extraordinary Society. It is an honor to be here with you this evening. So, guys, today's title is There Will Never Be a Better You Than You. And where we're going with this subject and where we're going with this topic is really all about authenticity. I've met a lot of people along my journey that were just truly sincere with their desire to help. And I've also met a large number of people along the way who were really honestly just trying to take advantage of me. And I'm going to just kind of say that I'm a goofball, but I'm also a very trusting and very gullible person. I know just enough to be dangerous. I'm talking about like Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. I know just enough to be dangerous. So in the realm of seeking and wanting to be the best version of myself, I'm always trying to do personal development. And what I've had to learn over the years are some people are just not authentic. And from that, I want people to be able to see through me and see that I truly love you guys. And yes, this is a show that I am giving away free information, but I'm never actually trying to sell anybody anything. I'm not saying like, hey, sign up for my program. I do from time to time mention if you need help with mindset coaching, let's have a conversation. If you're struggling at achieving your physical fitness goals, let's have a conversation. If you don't know where to start with your nutrition, let's have a conversation. If you just don't know where to start at all, let's have a conversation. If you were someone who, like me, over the last 2 weeks have really just been struggling with life, I get that, friends. I am human. Let's have a conversation. I want people to see that I am authentic through and through. I am the same person on my Facebook Lives as I am in my coaching seminars, as I am on stage, as I am in the military, as I am behind closed doors, as I am in front of my children at home, and just as authentic when I'm in front of other people's children at church. So, guys, we're talking about being authentic and how there's never going to be a better you than you. I've had a lot of people say, if you would do this, you would be better. If you would say this, you would be better. If you would do these things, you would be better. And what I have learned over the years is this is something I picked up from a mastermind that I just attended this last weekend, and it was called Ants. And the premises was you've got to squash your ants. And I didn't necessarily see that ants are all around me. And ants are automatic negative thoughts. I've done, good grief, 175 shows so far. I feel very confident now on screen. I feel very confident in front of thousands and 10,000s. I've never been in front of more than 10,000 people on a stage before, but I'm comfortable because I've put the work in. I've done the reps. However, what was brought to my attention over this last weekend are ants are everywhere. And they gave us a rubber band. Something as simple as a rubber band. And I'm like, this is stupid. What am I going to do with a rubber band on my wrist? And then it was brought to my attention how our negative thoughts that we have do not cause physical pain. And it's very easy for us to say negative things about ourselves and not really think much about it. But what was brought to my attention is, and guys, for those of you that are on live, I can see there's a couple 13 of you. Hashtag live for me. Let me know that you're on live. And if you're watching this on the replay, do one and the same. Hashtag replay. But what I'm asking everybody to do is drop ants in the comments. Ants. This is me being vulnerable in front of the entire world. Everyone who watches my Facebook Lives, everyone who watches these on LinkedIn, everyone who watches these on Instagram, everybody who's on my Distinctly Extraordinary YouTube channel. This streams across the world, and I want to be authentic. And I've got a couple marks on my wrist from this rubber band. Because now that the information has been given to me, I am responsible. I am now in charge of processing this information. Now that I've been made aware that ants are a thing, I've done numerous coachings on being negative. And how do we combat those? But I needed a coach. Everyone is better with a coach. I needed a coach who could show me my blind spots. I had ants all over me, and I'm like, oh my God. Now, every time that automatic negative thought comes up, now just that little bit, it doesn't hurt. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't hurt. But if I really get it out there, that hurts. This rubber band is now going to allow me that every time a negative thought comes into my mind, whether this is about myself, whether this is about someone else, and I'm in the military. I do some work with the military that has allowed me to go to special schools and receive special training. And I've got a couple certifications about being able to drive cars really fast, backwards, forwards, upside down, hang out cars, shooting guns. But because of those schools, oh my gosh, I've got so much road rage because people drive like they just don't have a brain in their head. Ant. I now just spoke negative about some other person. The Bible tells us that our mouth, our words can speak life or speak death. And it was never brought to my attention that me speaking negatively, even though they were driving like a 13-year-old in a go-kart with no driver's license, with someone else's life on the line in the car and all the other cars, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to reach through my windshield and through your windshield and just smack the crap out you. Ants. I now have something that can cause physical pain, that every time something negative pops into my mind, I can now associate that negative thought with a physical pain. And I will slowly be able to retrain my mind to stop thinking negatively, because I now have a way of creating pain and associating with the negative thought, and my brain will start to learn, like, when I think this, I'm going to sense pain. And friends, for those of you who have ever had anything touch, cut, brace you underneath your arm, it is sensitive right there. That hurts. I have now learned how to be a more authentic person about myself. So I can now see my blind spots. I can now start to figure out how to speak positively about myself, speak positively about other people, even if they were driving like an idiot. But it's all about being authentic. The first definition inside Webster's dictionary reads, worthy of acceptance or belief. I had so many ants on me that I believed in my mind, which now I believed in my heart, and now it was like spilling out into my life that I am a failure. I'm not a good coach. I am not a good father. I am not a good husband. I am not a good military member. I am all these different things. And what was brought to my attention is I am came to this world to give me life and give me life more abundantly. The great I am is never going to speak negatively about me. So I had to stop saying I am something. I am royalty. I am a king's kid. I want to be authentic with you guys. I want you guys to see through me, learn from my mistakes. Because there's only one sure way to find failure in something. And it's not being authentic. There's been so many times I've got on my Facebook lives and I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the BFit Project, where we are going to turn you into something distinctly extraordinary. But in the back of my head, I was battling some demons. I've said some things to clients in a very jokeful manner, but it was not received as a joke. And I will forever have to live with that, because these people were people that I loved and I cherished. And I now do not have a relationship with these people. I'm trying. I've asked for forgiveness. I've said I'm sorry. But our mouth, friends, can speak life. Or curses. And I did not realize that I was not the only one in this boat. I did not realize that there were other people in this world that struggled with their ants. Now notice that ants stands for automatic negative thoughts. We have like 1 trillion thoughts across the day. And 80% of those dudes are negative. I can't even fathom what 1 trillion looks like in a numeric form, but I can't even imagine the amount of negative thoughts that are just like bing, 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 just ping-ponging across my mind, and how those things can start to show up in my day, in my life, in my thought process. And at some point, if we continue to allow these negative thoughts to show up, it's going to ruin who we really are at the core of our being. It's just not going to pan out in the long run, because the negative will continue to compound and compound like compounding interest. If you don't know about compounding interest, friends, let's have a conversation. Because I've learned a thing or two across the last 23 years of failing at this and failing at that, not necessarily knowing and understanding. I cannot speak those words anymore. Failing at this and failing at that. We have got to be able to start getting rid of our ants. And the only way that we can do that is to be the most authentic version of ourselves. God created us in His image, and His image is perfection. And we must always remain a student. So, guys, what I've learned about coaching and teaching people. I'm a part of a nutrition program where we've already helped over 45,000 people across the world completely change their lives. And when you deal with a whole bunch of people, like mega peoples, you start to see some trends. And what I've noticed across my time of coaching and mentoring people is we've got to become and remain students. And I've learned that there is so much harm that lies when we blur the line between emulating our coaches, our mentors, and start to become just like them. That's not you. There's never going to be a better version of you than you. You can be molded. You can be sharpened. Everyone's better with a coach. However, the people that we're going to be learning from are human and battle with their own ants. We've all got our own blind spots. And what I have learned over this last weekend was I had a massive scotoma, blind spot. And my blind spot was, and it's just something I've crafted over time, that I feel that we as the American population that we are now, we don't use the word love properly. There's not enough emotion behind it when we just say, I love you. So in my own finite mind and understanding, I started saying, I love you more. I just can't prove it. And I thought I was so clever. And I've been doing that for the last 23 years. And what I learned over the mastermind this last weekend was I've got to stop that. That is an ant. By me saying, because I was attempting to put more emotion into the word I love you because it's been so watered down, I love you more. I just can't prove it. What I learned from this last weekend was what I was saying was, I love you more than I love me. And what I didn't understand the correlation there until further on through the weekend, I realized that I have got to love me for the way that God made me and embrace that and be the most authentic version of me and never stop being a student. Continue to learn and grow in personal development. Because what I've learned is me as your coach, my coaches, I have numerous coaches because I want to learn what they know. And I want someone to hold me accountable so that I can apply the knowledge that I'm learning. But what I've learned so far, my friends, is our mentors do not wish for us to follow in their footsteps. Our mentors want us to learn from them and grow to the level that they are at, but then help us to supersede them and blaze a trail further than they've ever gone before, and then have us bring all the people behind us to do the same thing so that they will slingshot past us. And we can fix this society, because what I'm seeing now in our young students is a lack of work ethic, a lack of hustle. Everyone's feelings are getting hurt left and right. And I get it. I understand. It's a thing. However, we're not always going to agree. We're not always going to see eye to eye. But we can love each other in our differences and learn and grow from each other and work together to build something better, to build something greater. We can help mold and mentor the next generation who are clearly free thinkers, but take that free thinking and apply it with some grit and some hard work, and they are going to accomplish more than we ever could because they are so willing to think outside of the box. We have to allow them the opportunity to be authentic, but we also have to teach them, guide them, mold them, mentor them, direct them so that we can push their butts further than we ever could go. But not only push them further than we could ever go, allow them to mess up, allow them to fail, but have the understanding that the past is in the past, but we can learn from it so we don't repeat history over again. There's never going to be a better version of you than you. But the same thing goes with the younger generation. There's never going to be a better version of them than them. We have to teach them how to be transparent, teach them to how to be authentic. Yes, embrace this person that you are. Follow biblical principles. Have a little bit of hustle to you because they can achieve far greater things than we ever did because they have more tools, they have more technology. And there's no one better suited for that than us. I had to learn my blind spots, and now that I've been made aware of those blind spots, I can't ignore them anymore, and nor should you. It's critical for us, my friends, to be authentic in our walk. When you are struggling, ask for help. And that's one thing that I never did because I thought asking for help was a sign of weakness. And I was like, I got this. You will never outwork me. I may not be the smartest, I may not be the fastest, I may not be the strongest, but I will outwork everybody. I will find a solution. I will find a resource. We all should be that way. Willing to put in the work, willing to put in the reps. But what I'm now learning over the last 6 months of my life, I'm going to take that grit and that grind and that hustle and all those failures that I've done in the past, and I'm going to take those as learning lessons, and I'm going to partner with people who know how to do the things that I want to do so that I can do them faster. So that I can do them knowing that the action steps I'm taking are going to make progress and I'm not guessing. And this is why, my friends, I tell you it's so critically important. Be aware of your ants. Be aware of your ants. They're automatic. They're just going to show up constantly. But when those dudes show up, I've now got something that I can tie physical pain to a negative thought so I can squash that dude instantly because I am not. I refuse to waste 23 more years wondering, questioning, am I doing the right things for my health? Am I making the right decisions for my business? Am I doing all the things I need to do as a student to grow? Am I taking the right steps to climb the corporate ladder? I challenge you to never settle for being ordinary, never settle for being content with being average. We all were destined for greatness, and I need you to embrace that, but do it with humility and authenticity. Guys, we're going to wrap it up right there. I need and want you to squash your ants. Just ruthlessly squash them. Okay. People's laughing at me on the Facebooks because I'm squishing my ants. But it's so important to get rid of those automatic negative thoughts, my friend. So, guys, I love you. I love you. I freaking love you. And I pray that you learn from my 23 years worth of mistakes, and you can take this wisdom, you can take this knowledge, apply it, create an action plan. And if you don't know how to do that, let's have a conversation. Go to brandonecho.com. Drop a 1 in the comments and I'll connect with you and I'll kind of figure out what's going on in your life, and we'll have a conversation and I'll give you some free resources. And if that helps, awesome. If that doesn't help, and we need to dig a little bit more into it, I've got a program for that. And we will get you the help you need. But guys, God bless you. This is Coach B signing off with another distinctly extraordinary society coaching tip. Until tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace out, my friends.